I woke up before the sun, just like always. The house was quiet, too quiet. My husband had left early again, muttering something about another urgent meeting. Lately, it felt like he had meetings every day, every night, and every weekend. We barely spoke anymore, and when we did, it was mostly about bills, groceries, or something broken in the house. I kept telling myself it was just a busy season, but deep down I knew that wasn't true. When our son left for college, the silence became unbearable. I filled my days with errands and chores, trying not to notice how empty everything felt. One night, I got a message from an old acquaintance online. At first, it was harmless, just catching up. But those conversations became the one thing I looked forward to. He listened. He asked about me, not just what I'd done that day. I told myself it was innocent, but I felt my pulse quicken every time my phone buzzed. I didn't plan for it to go further, but for the first time in years, I felt noticed. And I didn't want that feeling to end. He started stopping by when he knew my husband would be gone late. At first, it was just coffee and conversation, nothing anyone could accuse us of. But the way he looked at me made my heart race in a way I hadn't felt in years. His compliments were subtle, never over the top, but they sank in deep because I was starving for them. We talked for hours about everything. Our pasts, our regrets, the dreams we'd quietly buried. One rainy afternoon, he came over unannounced. I told myself to send him away, but I didn't. We sat close, sharing a blanket, and the line we'd been dancing around finally disappeared. His hand brushed mine, then lingered, and suddenly I wasn't thinking about consequences, only about how alive I felt. Every laugh, every glance, every word made the rest of my life fade into the background. I knew I was crossing into something I couldn't take back, yet the pull was stronger than my guilt. Weeks passed like that, a secret world we built in stolen moments. I didn't think about what would happen if anyone found out. I only thought about how badly I wanted to keep feeling this way, that I wasn't expecting him that day. I thought I had hours before anyone would be home. The sound of the front door opening made my chest tighten instantly. I heard his voice, cheerful and unsuspecting, calling out for me. For a second, I froze, my mind scrambling for something to say, some way to hide what was happening. Then I saw his face in the doorway. His expression shifted from confusion to something I'd never seen before. Pure shock. He didn't yell. He didn't ask questions. He just stared, his mouth slightly open, eyes fixed on me as if he couldn't process what he was seeing. The silence between us felt heavier than any words could have been. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. I tried to speak, but the look in his eyes stopped me. He turned without saying a word, walking toward the door with slow, deliberate steps. I followed, calling his name, my voice breaking, but he didn't turn back. His hand was on the doorknob when he finally said, quietly but firmly, "I can't believe you." And then he was gone, leaving me standing there, unable to move, feeling the weight of everything I had just destroyed. He didn't answer my calls for 3 days. Each time I left a voicemail, my voice sounded smaller, more desperate. When he finally called back, his tone was cold, stripped of the warmth I'd always known. He said he wasn't ready to talk, that he needed time to process. I told him I was sorry, but the words felt hollow even as I said them. Sorry couldn't undo what he saw. At home, I caught myself glancing at my husband differently, wondering if he'd noticed the shift in me. He didn't. Or maybe he did and chose not to say anything. The distance between us only grew, but now it was loaded with something heavier than neglect. It was loaded with guilt. My son eventually told me he wouldn't say anything to his father, but he couldn't forget it. He said he wasn't sure if he could ever see me the same way again. Hearing that hurt more than any argument could have. I wanted to explain the loneliness, the years of feeling invisible, but I knew it would sound like excuses. I'd made a choice. And no matter how I tried to justify it, I'd have to live with the way he looked at me now.